Good afternoon. We are in deflection of beams. Last class we discussed Macaulay's method of determining slope and deflection. In Macaulay's method of deflection, determining the slope and deflection, we use a differential equation for deflected beam. That is EI into d square y by dx square is equal to m. And by using that equation, we have considered a simply supported beam for understanding that Macaulay's method, how to determine slope and deflection. And in the end of the class, we also discussed the boundary conditions for 4 different beam loading conditions. Depends upon the support position of the supports, how to use boundary conditions in order to obtain the integration constants C1 and C2. So, what are all the sign conventions which we use in shear force and bending moment chapter to determine shear force, bending moments? The same sign conventions are valid here also, including for support reactions, and even for the calculation of to write the expression for bending moment. Along with those sign conventions, so we follow the following procedure or rule laid down by Macaulay's. So, we adopt the following 5 practice or rules, we can say. The first and foremost is, for a simply supported beam and overhanging beams, we take the extreme left hand side as the origin and we select a section in the last segment. Example, suppose this is the simply supported beam subjected to load like this, combination of loads, say W1, W2. We can easily identify segments here on the beam 1, 2, 3. There are 3 segments, and we select the left hand side, extreme left hand side as the origin, and we select the section here like this, so that x varies from 0 to L if L is the length of the beam. Similarly, for the overhanging beam, whether the beam is overhanged to the right hand side or to the left hand side, we select section the origin as the extreme left hand side, and we select the section like this. This is last segment. Say this is 1, 2, 3 segments you can see. So, whether the load acting in the downward direction or upward direction, and that separate the beam into segments 1, 2, 3 segments. Suppose if the overhang is to the left hand side also, again here say if it is like this 1, 2, 3 segments, here also we take the extreme left hand side as the origin, and we select a section in the last segment. So, this is for simply supported beam and overhanging beam, and for the sake of convenience we take in the case of cantilever beam, we take the free end as the origin and we select section close to the fixed end. If the cantilever is like this, or if the cantilever is like this, subjected to combination of loads, say like this, You can see here there are segments here 1, 2, 3. So free we take origin as the free end, here it is origin, and we select the section in the loss segment towards the fixed end. So this is the case. For simply supported beam and overhanging beams, we take origin as the extreme left hand side and we select section in the loss segment. Whereas for cantilever beams, we take the free end as origin like this and section in the last segment are very close to the fixed end. This is the first rule. The second rule of Macaulay is in Macaulay's method of slope and determination of slope and deflection, we have generated equation by considering simply supported beam, and that equation one we integrated twice with respect to x. Say for example, RA into x minus W1 into x minus A1 minus W2 into x minus A2, like this we have derived. This is equation 2. So this is EI into d square y by dx square. If you integrate equation 2 successively twice with respect to x, we get two more equations. So if integration of this is EI into dy by dx is equal to RA into x square by 2 minus W1 into x minus A1 whole square by 2 minus W2 into x minus A2 square by 2 plus C1, like this we have integrated. You can see here we integrated the bracket, we did not open the bracket, we integrated as it is with bracket only and completed. Even for the next step also we don't open the bracket. The second rule of Macaulay is while integrating the term, particularly the term which is accompanied by the distance, term accompanied by the distance means a load accompanied by the distance. The terms generally we come across a bracket, we should never open the bracket while integrating the bracket. It will be kept as it is till the end. That is second rule. Then the third rule of Macaulay is when you apply boundary conditions, to solve for C1 and C2 and even to calculate slope and deflection, if values are substituted here to inside the bracket, say for example A value is 4 and x value is 2. If A value is 4 and x value is 2 means it is minus 2. If the term becomes negative, simply we ignore the term and we don't consider this term for further calculation. Similarly, say for example if x is 4 and A is 2, then this has to be considered positive value. If it is like this, you have to ignore. If it is like this, you have to consider. So that is the third rule, means when you substitute for the bracket to solve for the integration constant C1 and C2 and even to obtain the slope and deflection, if the term becomes negative, simply we ignore the entire term. That is the third rule. Third rule. Next, the fourth rule is if UDL is acting on the beam and if it is not up to the selected section, UDL has to be extended up to the selected section in the downward direction, also in the upward direction for the extended region of same intensity. the meaning of this is, say for example, if you consider a simply supported beam subjected to uniformly distributed load, say this is the condition, W per meter length. We can easily identify the segments here, A, B, C, D. There are 3 segments. As per Macaulay's, we select the extreme left hand side as the origin and we select section in the last segment. Now, in this case, UDL is acting on the beam, but it is not up to the selected section. Here, we have to extend UDL in the downward direction, also in the upward direction for the extended region of same intensity. For example, if the beam is subjected to load like this, say again as it is, we take the origin as the extreme left hand side, A, B, C, D. There are 3 regions again. There are 3 segments, first segment, second segment. So again as per Macaulay's, we select section in the last segment and A as the origin, so that X varies from 0 to L. So when if it is UDL acting, if the beam is subjected to UDL and if it is acting at the selected section, no problem, you proceed as it is. If UDL acting on the beam and if it is not acting up to selected section, then at extend UDL up to the selected section in the downward direction, also at extend UDL in the upward direction for the extended region. We have to apply UDL in the upward direction for the extended region of the same magnitude. This is the 4th rule. Then the 5th rule of Macaulay is, say for example, if again a beam, a simply supported beam like this, say this is 2 meter, this is say A1, let us call that A1, A2, and it is a beam is subjected to moment M, A, B. So this is RA, RB. It is a simply supported beam. Here we have to select again the origin as the extreme left hand side and we select section in the last segment. So we mark the distance of section from the origin, X value. Whenever an external moment acting on the beam, to write expression for bending moment in deflection, moment if it is acting, that should be multiplied by the distance raised to the power of 0. Say for example, while writing a moment equation here RA into X and it's a clockwise moment plus M into X minus A1 raised to the power of 0 minus W1 into X minus A2. So this is the equation, pattern equation. If moment is acting on the beam and early in the previous case only we used to consider the moment along with their sign convention as it is without multiplying distance, whereas in deflection moment must be multiplied by the distance raised to the power of the 0 wherever it is coming, we have to consider like that. So these 5 rules we have to apply while solving the problem along with the sign conventions. So sign convention for support reaction is same. We consider all the forces acting on the beam including the support reactions, and again here we calculate the support reaction by applying the known equilibrium conditions, say To begin with, we apply moment equilibrium condition, and then we apply the vertical force equilibrium condition. We can calculate sigma reaction at the supports. Then this shear force will not comes into picture here. Bending moment M in the differential equation for deflected wave, M represents the bending moment about the section. While writing expression for bending moment, we consider all the forces towards the origin, towards the left hand side for simply supported beam and for overhanging beam. Next, these rules, always we select left hand side as the origin and section in the last segment for simply supported beam and overhanging beams, and origin as free end, and we take section towards the very close to the fixed end or in the last segment for cantilever beam. Next, the second rule of Macaulay is while integrating the term, we don't open the bracket, or we should never open the bracket while integrating the term with the bracket. Next, third one is when you substitute numericals to the bracket, if it becomes negative, simply we ignore it. This is even while calculating the constant C1, C2, and also when we calculate the value of slope and deflection. When we substitute numerical values to the bracket, if any of the bracket term becomes negative, simply we ignore the entire term. Next, the fourth one is if UDL is acting on the beam and it is not up to the selected section, then UDL to be extended in the downward direction up to the section, and we also apply UDL also UDL in the upward direction for the extended region of same intensity, like this. Suppose if already UDL is acting at the selected section portion, no need to extend all those things. Lastly, if external moment is acting on the beam, moment must be multiplied by the distance raised to the power of 0, like this. So these rules along with sign convention and the Macaulay's the procedure will help us in solving problem to find out the slope and deflection. It is a continuation of the shear force bending moment. First we have to calculate support reaction. The correctness of the problem purely depends on support reaction. Then we will continue. Let us solve one problem so that we can easily understand. Again, in shear force and bending moment chapter, what we did is for every new problem we used to select the first page, fresh page. Fresh page means if it is like this, fresh page means you write the left hand side, extreme left hand side that figure, and then we continue the calculation. In the previous shear force and bending moment diagram also, first we used to write a figure on the left hand side and calculation on the right hand side to avoid the mistake. Avoid the mistake means just if you write in the next page, you have to repeatedly repeat the pages. So under such circumstance, there are chances of doing mistake. To overcome that, here also with respect to the figure only, the beam which we are going to write only, we do all the calculations. Hence, for every problem, first problem, first you write a figure, the problem here, then below that you write the beam. Then by leaving small 1 or 2 line or 3 line space, do calculation, continue calculation here, left hand side and the right hand side also, so that we should able to complete the problem in 2 pages. So 2 pages are required for each problem, and our write up should be compact like the shear force and bending moment. Let us start a problem, a simple problem. If you understand one problem, it is very easy In remaining all the problem, we follow the same procedure. The first problem, determine rotation at point A and deflection at point C. In the beam shown in figure. Take E is equal to 200 GPa and I is equal to 20 into 10 power 6 millimeter to the power of 4. The problem is like this. A beam is hinged at one end and resting on roller at the other end. It is made up of 3 segments. Each segment measures 3 meter. And it is subjected to 2 point loads of 50 kilonewton and 40 kilonewton or 100 kilonewton at the intermediate points. So this is the given problem. It is asked to determine rotation and deflection. Rotation is nothing but the slope that we already discussed. Like in the shear force and bending moment chapter, again here also, wherever we come across or whenever we come across this hinged support and roller support, we simply replace hinge and roller into normal supports. Hinge, of course, we are going to remove this the horizontal component. We consider only vertical reaction component, and roller, again at roller point, it is the reactions are normal to the axis of roller. Let us quickly rewrite the loading diagram. (100 kilonewton, 50 kilonewton, and salient points, let us designate support points as A and B, the intermediate points as C and D. E himself given the points. So RA is the support reaction and RBB the support reaction at B. Before selecting the section and the origin, leave just 2 line space below the loading diagram to mark the section, 2 line space. Below that you write support reactions. First you need to calculate support reactions. Just you leave gap here, 2 lines gap. State the support reactions. Let RA and RB be the support reactions at A and B respectively. Again in order to make one unknown 0, always we take moment at an unknown point. At an unknown point, if you take moment at this point, RA becomes 0, RB can be calculated. If we take at point RB, we can calculate RA because RB becomes 0. Next, for equilibrium, applying sigma m about A is equal to 0, that is compared to previous the problems which we have taken in the bending moment and shear force diagram the module. Here the very simple, and you can quickly calculate support reaction. So moment due to RA becomes 0, here we are not writing that one. So 50 and 100 kN will create a clockwise moment. 50 into 3 plus 100 into 6 minus RB into 9, that is equal to 0. So if you solve this, we will get the RB. So RB is equal to 83.33 kilonewton. Next, and applying sigma V is equal to 0, that is there are 4 forces here including support reactions. Treat upward as positive, automatically downward will be negative. Proceed from left hand side. RA acting in the upward direction positive plus minus 50 minus 100 plus RB, that is equal to 0. RA plus RB, RA plus RB is equal to 150. Therefore, RA is equal to 150 minus 83.33. Therefore, RA is equal to 66.67 kilonewton. So like this we can calculate support reaction quickly. Now after calculating reactions, write the values on the loading diagram. 66.67 kilonewton, RB is equal to 83.33 kilonewton. Next, after calculating support reactions, we have to select the origin. Origin means starting point of the beam. Select the origin as the extreme left hand side and take section in the last segment. Mark the distance from origin to section as x, small x. Next, after marking the section, and selecting the origin, first you have to write the differential equation for deflected beam. Next, we have differential equation for deflected beam. That is EI into d square y by dx square is equal to m. So this is the differential equation for deflected beam. In this differential equation for deflected beam, the product EI is known as flexural rigidity and m is the bending moment about the section. So here retain left hand side of the differential equation deflected beam as it is, EI into d square y by dx square is equal to, here m is equal to bending moment about the section by considering all the forces to the left of the section, means towards the origin. Towards the origin there is a support reaction and 2 point loads. Support reaction will create the clockwise moment and the point loads will create anti-clockwise moment. So write the expression for bending moment by considering the forces to the left of the section. Consider one by one. So this support reaction RA is equal to 66.67 kilonewton and it will create the clockwise moment. Perpendicular distance for RA is equal to x, means 66.67 into x, it is creating the clockwise moment positive. 66.67 into x. Next, 50 kilonewton will create a anti-clockwise moment about the section, minus 50 into this distance we want from section to here. We know distance from origin to section is x and from A to C it is 3 meter. X minus 3 will give the perpendicular distance between C and section, x minus 3. Next, this 100 kilonewton will create again a anti-clockwise moment about section, minus 100 into, again we want perpendicular distance between D and section, this distance. So that is equal to x minus 6. X minus 6 gives us the perpendicular distance between D and section. It is x minus 6. Now call this as equation 1. This is very important. Equation 1 is very important. Before that, calculation of support reactions, correct calculation of support reaction is also very important. It is very important. Once we calculate correct support reaction, so if you write equation 1, again we can proceed easily. Up to equation 1, to writing up to equation, the correct writing of equation 1 plays very important role after correct calculation of support reaction. Next, if we integrate equation 1 successively twice with respect to x, we get 2 more equations. The one term will contain dy by dx, it is a slope equation. The other term contain y, that is a deflection equation. Next, if we integrate equation 1 successively twice, integrating equation 1 successively twice with respect to x, we get that is integration of EA into d square by dx square is equal to EA into dy by dx, that is equal to integration of 66.67 into x square by 2, integration of 50 into x minus 3, we should never open the bracket, 50 into x minus 3 whole square by 2 minus 100 into, again you should not open the bracket, x minus 6 whole square by 2. Let us introduce one integration constant C1, call this as equation 2. So this is the slope equation with the integration constant C1. Further integration of equation 2 and EA into y is equal to 66.67 x cube by 6 minus 50 into x minus 3 whole cube by 6. Again integration of this is should not open bracket, 100 into x minus 6 whole cube by 6 plus integration of C1x, introduce another constant C2, equation 3. So this term containing y, it is a deflection equation. Just we integrated equation 1 2 times with respect to x, we got 2 more equations, equation 2 and 3. Now we need to calculate the integration constant C1 and C2. For that we have to apply boundary conditions. As we already discussed boundary conditions, let us apply the boundary conditions. So we have to create the boundary conditions here based on the given problem. We have to create the boundary condition. If at all, if the beam deflects because of this applied load, the beam will deflect in the downward direction. It will be like this. So beam will deflect in the downward direction. There is no deflection at the left hand side. Also there is no deflection at the right hand side. Hence we can create two boundary condition. Means when x is equal to 0, deflection is 0, y is equal to 0. That is one condition. Further, when x is equal to L, then deflection is equal to 0. Two boundary conditions. We can apply those two boundary conditions. We can easily solve for C1 and C2. Next. At x is equal to 0, because x varies from 0 to L, 0 to 9 meter. If you put x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 0. Deflection is equal to 0 means there is no displacement. Use in equation 3, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, use in equation 3. If you use this condition in equation 3, here you can see x is equal to 0, y 0, the left hand side is equal to 0, that is equal to first term 0, next x is equal to 0 minus 50 by 6 into 0 minus 3 cube minus 100 into 100 by 6 into 0 minus 6 plus C1 into 0 plus C2. So recall the Macaulay's rules. If you substitute numericals to the bracket, if the term becomes 0, automatically you have to ignore that term. So this becomes 0 and this also becomes 0. So 0, 0, 0, 0, it is again, this is also 0, C1 into 0, 0. So left with only C2 is equal to 0. So we got one integration constant, that C2 is equal to 0. Use another boundary condition. What is another boundary condition? At x is equal to L, x is equal to 9 meter, here also there is no displacement of the beam. So x is equal to 9 meter, then y is equal to 0. Again, at x is equal to 9 meter, comma, y is equal to 0. Use this new boundary condition along with C2. Use in equation again 3. Equation 3 again we get that is, substitute the values here. Left hand side 0, x is equal to 9 meter, it is 66.67 into 9 cube by 6 minus 50 by 6 into 9 minus 3 whole cube minus 100 into x minus 6 whole cube divided by 6 plus 9C1 plus 0. You can see here the only unknown is C1 because C2 is 0 and this y is also 0. And the only unknown is C1, we can easily calculate for C1. So solving this you will get again, see here in the bracket. In the previous case 0 minus 3 minus 3, because of this negative term we have to ignore this entire, it becomes 0, here also it becomes 0. Whereas here 9 minus 3, 6, we should not ignore this won't be 0 because positive value. Again here also x minus 6, 9 minus 6, here also it won't be 0. Solving this you will get C1 is equal to minus 650.045. So by applying the boundary conditions, so we've obtained the integration constants C1 and C2. Now, after calculating C1 and C2, so we can rewrite equations 2 and 3, and those equations will be ready to yield or to give the slope and deflection wherever we want. Next, thus equations 2 and 3 takes the form that is, what is equation 2? Write as it is, EI into dy by dx is equal to 66.67 x square by 2 minus 50 into x minus 3 whole square by 2 minus 100 into x minus 6 whole square by 2 C1 value we know it is minus 650.045. Call this as equation 4. Next, and if you substitute C1 and C2 value in equation 3, it becomes EI into y, that is equal to 66.67 x cube by 6 minus 50 into x minus 3 whole cube by 6 minus 100 into x minus 6 whole cube by 6 minus 650.045 x, and since C2 is 0, that's all. Equation 5. So here itself you can, if you want, you can write it. This is slope equation, this is slope equation, and this is deflection. So equation 4 is a slope equation and equation 5 is a deflection equation. These equations are ready to give slope and deflection wherever we want. Simply if you substitute numerical value of x, we get the deflection. In the problem it is asked to find rotation, means slope, rotation at point A and deflection at point C. Rotation at point A is nothing but point A. We know value of x because origin is A. What is value of x here? Value of x is 0 here. Value of x is here 3. Value of x is equal to 3 here. 6. Value of x here is 9 meter. So if you put x is equal to 0 in equation 4 and substitute the values of EI is equal to given value and dy by dx is equal to theta A, we will get rotation at point A. Similarly, deflection at C here x value is equal to 3 meter. This is origin, x value is 3 meter, at substitute x value is equal to 3 meter. If you substitute x is equal to 3 meter in equation 5 along with E and I value, we will get y is equal to yc, deflection at point C. Before that, given Young's modulus in gigapascal and the moment of inertia in millimeter to the power of 4, convert these values into kilonewton meter square so that we get the slope in radians and deflection in meters. So always to solve the problem and to obtain slope and deflection after obtaining equation 4 and 5, convert the given value of Young's modulus into kilonewton per meter square and moment of inertia into meter to the power of 4, so that we will get the obtained value of slope in radian and deflection in meter. Next, given E is equal to 200 GPa, that is equal to 200 into 10 power 9 Newton per meter square. This can be written as 200 into 10 power 9 divided by 10 power 3 kilonewton per meter square, that is equal to 200 into 10 power 6 kilonewton per meter square. Also, I is equal to 20 into 10 power 6 millimeter to the power of 4. So if you convert this millimeter to the power of 4 into meter to the power of 4, 20 into 10 power 6 into 4 times 10 power minus 12, that is equal to 20 into 10 power minus 6 meter to the power of 4. And if you multiply E with I, EI is equal to 200 into 10 power 6, that multiplied by 20 into 10 power minus 6, that is equal to 40 into 10 power 3 kilonewton meter square. Like this, we can convert this given Young's modulus and moment of inertia into the required unit. Kilonewton meter square, it is not per meter square, it is kilonewton meter square. Here E is in kilonewton per meter square. Young's modulus is, it was in millimeter to the power 4, we have converted it into meter to the power 4. Now, everything is ready to obtain slope and deflection. For the same problem, we can calculate the values everywhere. We can calculate slope here, we can calculate slope here, we can also calculate slope here, slope here. To calculate slope at point A, you have to put x is equal to 0 and A is equal to that value in equation 4. Similarly, slope at C is equal to x is equal to 3 meter and A is equal to 14 10 power 3 kilonewton per square in equation 4. You will get dy by dx means theta A or theta C. Similarly, slope at D is equal to means x is equal to 6 meter and EI value dy by dx is equal to theta D in equation 4. Lastly, slope at or rotation at B is equal to x is equal to 9 meter in equation 4 along with EI value you will get theta D. In the same way, it is possible to calculate the deflections in at every point on the beam. Already it is known that deflection is 0 at point A and deflection at 0 at point B. By using that concept only we calculated the integration constant C1 and C2. Even if you substitute also we will get the same value. The remaining two values are, two points are C and D. To calculate deflection at point C, put x is equal to 3 meter along with EI value, y is equal to yc, you will get deflection at point C. Suppose if you want deflection at point D, put x is equal to 6 meter from origin, measuring from origin, x is equal to 6 meter along with EI value, you will get the deflection at point D, yd. So, if you write equation 4 and 5, then substitute values you will get wherever you want, you can you will get the slope and deflection. Next, to find rotation or can also be called as slope at A. Next, put x is equal to 0, comma EA is equal to 40 into 10 power 3 kilonewton meter square and dy by dx is equal to theta A. In equation 4, we get that is in equation 4 EI it is 40 into 10 power 3 into theta A, that is equal to x is equal to 0 means 0. Here if you substitute to the inside bracket x is equal to 0 minus 3, that is also 0. So, this value is also 0. Next one is also, it is not x is not there, it is 650.045. So, 40 into 10 power 3 theta A is equal to minus 650.0453. Therefore, theta A is equal to, you will get theta A value here. Minus 0.01 625 radians. So here rotation is in the downward direction, ignore the negative sign. Even if it is retained also no problem. So this is rotation or slope at point A. Next, to find deflection at C, it is asked to find deflection at point C. Next, to find deflection at point C, put x is equal to 3 meter x from the origin to here 3 meter, and EI is 14 10 power 3, y is equal to yc. In equation 5 will get the deflection at point C. Next, put x is equal to 3 meter, comma EI is equal to 40 into 10 power 3 kilonewton meter square, and y is equal to yc. In equation 5 we get that is 40 into 10 power 3 into yc is equal to 66.67 into 3 cube by 6 minus, see here, if we substitute here 50 into 3 minus 3, 0, cube minus 100 by 6 into 3 minus 6 whole cube minus 650.045 into 3. See here, so this term will become 0 0 already, and 3 minus 6 minus 3, this is also 0. So left with the first left hand side, the first term and the last term. If you solve for this yc, we will get yc is equal to minus 0.041 meter. So deflection at C is equal to minus 0.041 meter. Again, its negative value indicates the displacement is in the downward direction. So you can write as it is, or you can ignore the negative value. So in this way we can comfortably solve slope and deflection at any given point, points, and this is the procedure. This is purely based on Macaulay's procedure by using the same sign conventions to calculate support reactions, and bending moment equation we have written at section by considering forces to the left hand side, and selected the origin at the extreme left hand side and proceeded. The same procedure we adopt for all the problems with slight variations that we can discuss. We will discuss those changes which we come across in the next problems. So better you understand this problem. Again, you solve this problem without seeing the solution. Just you write down the problem, solve independently, then can check your confidence. So we'll interact when when we meet for the class. Thank you.